Hobby Quick Hits. Delivering that breaking hobby news directly to your earlobes. You want to know those hot drops from the card shop? We've got you covered. With your host, John Newman.
Welcome to another episode of Hobby Quick Hits. This episode titled, Can Cards Get Stale? And obviously we're not talking about in the same vein as food or potato chips, but, can we get tired of our cards? Maybe looking at them, it doesn't, move our meters or do it for us anymore. And, has that ever happened to me? There's some that say, it's your fault if you ever feel that way, and maybe that's the case. Some people will say you really, cards don't get like that. So we're going to tackle that, whether that's the case or not, or at least my opinion of it. But first, we're going to hear from our great sponsors, Mojo Break. After that, our Q&A, hobby releases, and hobby news, and then can cards get stale?
MojoBreakShop.com is the best place to get your sealed wax products and breaks. They not only have the best selection, but the best prices. Whether it's a box or a whole case, they are your guys. They ship worldwide to your doorstep. Their reputation as one of the most trusted in the hobby goes unmatched. They are the 2021 Topps Rip Party Champion Breakers. From sports card to Pokemon cards, their selection can't be beat. They offer daily deals and pre-orders.
Hey guys, John Newman here. Mojo's prices are already great, but to save an additional 10% off anything in their store, use the code QUICKHITS. That's QUICKHITS. Check out the full service store that's open 7 days a week in Santa Clara, California, or the website at mojobreak.com.
Let's check out this week's hobby wax releases. Take it away, Owen.
Hey guys, I'm for the Sports Card Shop. Let's go over the weekly releases. On the 13th, we have 2022 Onyx Vintage Collection Football, 2021 Panini Chronicles Football, 2022 Topps Archive Signature Series Retired Players Edition Baseball, 2022 Topps Pristine Baseball. And on the 15th, we have 2022 Leaf Ultimate Draft Football, 2022 Panini Prism WNBA, 2022 Panini Select Draft Picks Football, and last but not least, 2022 Panini Select UFC H2. Have a good day.
Time for the segment where you ask me a question and I answer it here on the podcast.
Today's question comes from a Twitter DM from Greg, and he asks, John, I heard Jordan on Dr. Beckett's show. I've heard you talk about him on your show. What's his role in cards, or is he involved in the show in any way? Well, Greg, first off, thanks for asking about him. His name, by the way, is Jordan. He's 22 years old. He works 5 days a week as a school kids kind of counselor at a private school here in south of Syracuse, and enjoying it. So kind of in the teaching profession like myself. He's not big time into cards. He has cards, obviously. I've given him stuff. He knows probably more than I give him credit for. Like, if something happened, I wouldn't worry too much about him if he had to sell my stuff, and him really getting taken. He knows how to look things up. He used to be in sneakers back when he was a little bit younger, years ago. So he knows commerce and eBay and all that stuff. I talk to him about cards. If I get something pretty cool, I always show him. He has an interest. He's just not into it. He's got a girlfriend working on 2 years with her. Her name's Nicole. And so he's a pretty busy guy. He does live here, but not here all the time, either at with his girlfriend working. So he's not really, I'll talk about the show with him, like someone's on, or show him something pertaining to a guest, and he does have an interest, but he rather do a sports podcast where we break down sports, especially football. He's a big football kid, so no, not anywhere near the same vein in the cards as me. He has, I've given him a lot of stuff, and he has a decent collection, but again, he's nowhere near as committed as I am. So, every once in a while, Dr. Beckett had him on the Father's Day show, along with my dad Barry, and that was a fun show. And he's not going to the National. I asked him if he'd want to, and me and my wife were driving, and nope, he'd rather spend time with his girlfriend. He's a 22-year-old kid, typical stuff, and maybe somewhere down the line potentially, but right now pretty busy. Like I said, he's active. He's not a video game kid, so he's not. He's if anything, he collects. I will tell you this, and I don't know if I ever mentioned this before. He collects vinyl records. He's a big Beatles kid, so has a ton of Beatles albums, and has a ton of albums in general besides the Beatles too. Some. He showed me some rare ones and some ones he got deals on. So I'd say he's more of a record collector than a card collector, that's for sure.
Let's go round the hobbyverse and catch up on this week's hobby news.
All right, probably the big story of the week, if you will. PSA has announced $18 submissions. A little caveat here, though. Have to be a member of the Collectors Club. And you cannot declare a value of a card past $199. So you can submit as many cards as you want to the if you're a Collectors Club member, but you cannot declare any card is worth more than $199. They are stating that expect a 150-day calendar day turnaround time. So that's the lowest price we've seen for, PSA in a long time. It'll be interesting to see what the other grading companies do based on this as well. And I got a feeling Collectors Club members' phones are going to be going nuts either with calls or texts or messages. Hey, can I submit some cards through you? All right, the other big story, I guess, this week is the Topps Definitive Randy Arozarena Austin Meadows dual autograph card, number to 25, found out to be not signed by either one of those gentlemen. Not a good look, obviously, on Topps' part, but they've released a statement apologizing, and anyone that has the fake autograph card will get a replacement card, but that's not all. If you act now, no, I'm just kidding. You'll get a replacement card and a new box of Topps Definitive. So not only now a lot of people are trying to get that card to get the new card and the box of Topps Definitive. And this, good on Topps for making it right. Well, let me start there. But this just continues the trend in the hobby, folks, that we're seeing, right? So, make mistakes, apologize, and repeat. And I just, it looks to me, and again, this is speculation only on my part, looks to me like they didn't get those cards back from the players or what have you, and somebody, in-house signed them. Because if you look at the card, it looks like the same person signed both of those, autographs. So, but again, Topps is going to make it right, but it'd be nice to see these mistakes not happen in the first place. The Nolan Ryan Express coming to a New Jersey college. Leo Ullman, who has a 15,000 item Nolan Ryan collection worth over $1 million. It includes cards, autographs, memorabilia, gloves, his yearbook, even a saddle. All those 15,000 Nolan Ryan items are heading to Stockton University in New Jersey. Ullman is a New Jersey native. They're going to have the collection there, and it's going to be part of a 2023 new collecting course that the college is going to provide. Some great items, as I mentioned, in this collection. I hope they have that under lock and key and safeguarded, because, like I mentioned, it's over $1 million, and many of the items are very valuable. And you can upgrade your ramen diet in college by probably selling an item of two of that if you were able to get your hands on it. So hopefully they have it under lock and key and good security. But kind of cool. Stockton University going to offer a course, a hobby course, if you will. And it's funny. I got to do some college courses here in the next couple years for my teaching TA license, and so maybe I'll sign up for that course. But really nice of Mr. Leo Ullman to donate that to the university. Sort of an accidental collector. He was in Madison, Wisconsin many years ago, waiting on the birth of a grandchild, and just went next door. I guess there was a card store, and I don't know if he bought a pack or some cards, and that journey began. Pretty cool auction item to talk about. On Heritage right now, 1929 star player candy, Babe Ruth, still sealed in the pack, is available for bidding till July 21st. So, coming down the last stretch there. Currently has a $27,000 bid on it if you're interested. It comes from a find from 2009 that originally went through the Robert Edwards auction in 2009. Now, a little bit about these packs. They're one-card packs, so Babe Ruth is the only card that is in the pack, but it's still sealed. But, it's got a few rips and tears, and it was how they sealed them back then. They kind of folded it over and put one staple in to seal the pack. So, not your traditional wax pack as you know it, but still sealed in the way they originally did it. Again, some rips and tears there, as you would expect a 93-year-old pack to probably have. So if you're interested, head to Heritage and put your bid in there. Topps truck is hitting the road again. Yep, that's the truck covered with a 11,000 Topps card. It's going to start its tour on the 16th in Los Angeles. It's going to go through 8 cities, which will be Kansas City, Boston, Philadelphia, New York City, Cooperstown. That'll be interesting. Have to find out when they're there. Not too far from there to check that out. Minneapolis, which will be in coordination with the Major League Soccer All-Star Game. They'll also be going to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, in coordination with the Little League World Series. And they're going to Dyersville, Iowa, for the Field of Dreams Major League Baseball game. So if you're in any of those areas at the time that the Topps truck is there, definitely should check that out. All right, some sort of like personal news. Hobby Hotline, the conglomerate host show that I'm part of that airs live on Saturday mornings and Tuesday evenings with 20 different hosts. We have been given a main stage time for the National in Atlantic City. We will be taking the main stage on Friday, July 29th. We get a whole hour. Usually, last year we got 30 minutes. We get a whole hour this year from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's on Friday, July 29th. I know not all 20 hosts will be there, but and again, we'll have to see who's available. But I myself will be there and live on the main stage. So hopefully, as many of you out there that are fans of either this show or that show or both, and will come check myself and our fellow content creators out that are part of Hobby Hotline on the main stage. Hope to see you there.
It's showtime.
All right, the topic for today is, can cards go stale? Now, when we think of stale, I think we all think of, food expiring, food going bad, spoiling, not tasting good. Potato chips is the first thing I think of when I hear the word stale. Might be for you too. Obviously, cards themselves, it's a metaphor. Cards themselves don't go stale. The old gum and the old packs, as we all know, does. But the cards are in their own category. And so when I, the reason this topic even came up is I heard it on a few other shows or social media about, cards getting stale and I don't want them anymore, or I've moved off of them. And so I wanted to tackle that, maybe from a personal point of view. Now, as a dealer, I sell cards all the time at shows, online platforms, and so the stale thing doesn't really apply to me, truth be told, because what I keep, the PC I have, which is not huge, in terms of quantity. My PC are Hall of Fame graded rookies, Jackie Robinson, some Steelers, and some New York Rangers stuff. And other than that, everything else is show inventory. So, that doesn't get stale. I guess the closest thing for me for something getting stale would be, I prospect. So, some of those Bowman guys that I put away, early cards, rookie cards of certain guys that I think are going to, hit it big. That's probably the closest thing for me to get stale. For example, I have a lot of Joe Adell. When I say a lot, I'm not talking about a lot like I bought, like a lot of cards of Joe Adell. I have a ton of cards of Jared Kelenic. I have an extreme amount of Luis Robert, who's actually playing very well. So looking good or looking okay there for now. But Joe Adell has struggled. Jared Kelenic has struggled and striking out almost half of his at-bats. And so not looking good at the moment for those two players. I've even heard reports that the Angels are shopping Joe Adell, potentially looking to trade him, see what they can get. Not a good sign there that they maybe don't believe in him, and if they can get something for him. So, that's probably the closest to stale I'll get is, when you kind of stock away a specific player and it doesn't pan out, right? And that happens. That's the chance you take. Just like I said, right now I'm looking good on Luis Robert. I bought him early. I bought him often. And then when he got hurt and everyone jumped off the ship, and I bought him again. And now he's back and playing well. And again, that can change too. I also want to, state, Jared Kelenic and Joe Adell are still very young. So the verdict isn't fully in, but doesn't look good, right? So for me, that's the closest to stale, because if a guy doesn't pan out, right, those cards are not going to be in demand, and they're not PC items. They're not Hall of Fame graded rookies or Jackie Robinson or, New York Rangers or Steelers. of significance. So for me, I'm gonna, in a way, get stuck with them, or probably just sell them super cheap and just be done with it, if their careers don't pan out. So that's my version. That's my definition of stale. But I know other people's definition of stale is they get kind of bored of it, right? Maybe it's, I don't know about you, but I have a lot of my cards on display. There's some of my graded stuff is behind me in Show Your Slabs cases on the side wall. In Show Your Slabs cases, I've got an acrylic case on my desk that spins around two sides with more cards. And, I know other people have their cards out where they can see them. And that's, maybe you get tired of looking at them, right? Maybe that's your definition of stale. Like, hey, this card, I've had this card on my desk for 2 years, or in this display for 2 years. I have a card that I rather put in its place and take that one out. Maybe that's your version of stale. Maybe another version of stale is, hey, I'm super collecting this player, and I don't want to do it anymore. Or I want to super collect another guy, and I'm going to sell this guy off to put money into that other guy. Maybe like I just said, maybe it's just getting bored of what even a whole niche of collecting. Maybe you collect a certain sport and it doesn't do it for you anymore. And so, that's your version of stale. For me, like I said, the closest is with prospecting, and it doesn't pan out. And, but other than that, I don't really tire. The cards I have out, on my view, on my desk, on behind me, I don't change those displays too often. Maybe moving some cards around, adding a card or two. But other than that, there's cards out here on my desk that have been there for at least a few years. So, this term really doesn't apply to me. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this episode, because I heard it used a few times. And I thought about it, how it applies to me or doesn't apply to me, and what's it really mean. And I guess that's what it really means to me, is just when you get bored of a card or cards or a select group of cards and you want to get rid of them, or they're no good to you no more. I guess that might be the better definition, right? When they're no good to you anymore. But what I have, most of the, I don't open a ton of new wax at this point. So the cards I acquire, I target. I go after. It's not usually, oh my God, I pulled a PC card. I wish I did that more, but really not the case. So, most of my stuff that I keep is I bought to acquire it and not to resell it. I.e. 48 leaf Jackie, So, and obviously a card like that's my Grail card's never going to go stale. Not a great example, quite frankly. But even other things, even lesser cards that I purchase, whether they're $10 or $50, I'm purchasing them because I want them. A card I love is the 96, 97 Jordan EX, that acetate, like half acetate, half regular, cardboard. Just love the EX brand. It's not a rookie. It's a little pricey of a card, but I try to pick them up here and there. That card's never going to go stale to me, even though I look at it every day. It sits in my acrylic case. I got one out where I can see it's a graded copy of it. But, it's never going to go stale no matter how long I look at it. But some people get tired of, looking at things the same. They get bored of it and want to get rid of it. Maybe I'm a bad example for this episode just in the fact that I've been married, 23 and a half years. I don't get bored of things too much, or I wouldn't have, I don't want to say purchase with my wife, with cards, purchase them or commit, in my wife Sharon's case. So I'm probably, like I said, not the prime example to use the word stale. But I just wanted to tackle the topic, kind of deep dive it a little bit. What does it really mean, and how does that apply maybe with you? For me, again, not the poster boy for stale cards, but wanted to talk about it, throw it out there, and so there you go. But that's my take on stale. If you have a different take, or you think it means something different when you either use it or hear another hobbyist use the word stale in the hobby, message me, give me some feedback, and I can revisit the topic if need be. Thanks. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Hobby Quick Hits. Thank you, everybody out there who've downloaded the show and listened in. If you enjoyed the show, we appreciate positive reviews. And with the national approaching, I hope to see, as I've been saying here the last few weeks, many of you on the show floor or wherever as we attend the national. I hope you get to do that. It's going to be a great show, great time. We'll see you. Stay safe, be well, and we'll see you soon. Say goodnight, Kane.